All right, everybody. Here we are with Throwin back for UFC 284. I'm so excited. Coming from, the fight's going to be in Perth, Australia. It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited. Let's get right into it. We'll bring on our guest, Nicholas Manus. How are you, man?
Dude, I'm feeling absolutely amazing right now. I had an amazing day. I'm ready to talk some UFC. We got some basketball and got some good food in my stomach. Took a nice cold shower. Let's
Fuck
get rocking
yeah.
and rolling.
He's feeling good. See, guys, you got to set yourself up for greatness, okay? And his future self is going to be thanking him when he's going to have another great set of picks. So, Nick, last time you were on here was for UFC 283. You ended up going 10-4 with your picks, my friend.
Dude, those Manalytics, bro. Those Manalytics, I'm telling you.
You're a beast. I ended up going 11-3. So look at us, two guys just going at it, and it was interesting because you had some different opinions. I had some different opinions, but we still came out on top, both of us. So I like that, dude. I like what we got going on. As for the most recent event, UFC Vegas 68. That recap, we had the road to UFC finals coming out of the East. We had a lot of fighters from Japan and South Korea and other things, which I didn't really know that well. So I was kind of shooting in the dark. You know what I mean? Like I didn't watch their tournament to lead up to this point. So I was kind of shooting in the dark. My picks went 5-4, not my best, but again, I was shooting in the dark. And now we are at 140 wins, 74 losses, and we're going to maintain that 65% win rate, everybody. And that's going to lead us right into UFC 284, man, which is going to be orgasmic if I had to really describe it. We have Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski, okay? And this is a champ versus champ fight. Alexander Volkanovski looking to become the fifth double champ in UFC history. So he usually fights at 145, Nick. He's moving up to 155 to face the destructive Islam Makhachev. This dude is on a tear. He had Khabib in his corner like all his life. Khabib, the 29, we talked about him last time, 29-0, never lost. He was in his corner like always, forever. And this is his first fight without Khabib in his corner because Khabib has walked away from MMA coaching and fighting. And also,
did he give a reason for walking away from coaching, or he just was like,
he doesn't want to miss out on his family, on his other life, on life. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And you can understand that. But so Islam Makhachev fighting without Khabib in his corner and going into enemy territory, which Alexander Volkanovski is going to have the home field advantage here, right? He's going to be in Australia, where he's from, with all of that, all of the crowd and all that stuff there with him. And Islam Makhachev is a huge favorite. So
Volkanovski is the guy who's moving up a weight class.
That's right. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. We have Makhachev on the left and Volkanovski on the right. And you're gonna see, Nick, there is a considerable size difference here. But let's get right into it then. So you know how this show works here at Throwin Mitts. We always start with that main event hitter, boy, so we can go ahead and get those picks out and let everyone know what we think is going to happen in that main event, the very exciting main event. And then we're going to progress down the main card into the prelims and then the early prelims for all those prelim gang followers out there. And we're going to do the damn thing. So let's start it off with this lightweight double champ title bout between Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. Islam Makhachev comes into this fight at the minus 395 favorite. That's a little bit much, in my opinion. And Alexander Volkanovski, the plus 295 underdog. Islam Makhachev debuted May of 2015. He practices Sambo, and he's 31 years old. He's on an 11-fight win streak, Nicholas, with 11 wins by submission. And coming into this fight, he will have the 4-inch height advantage.
Wow.
Yes. So go ahead.
And then he's got the 10-pound difference in weight. Wow. And here's the thing, for people that haven't, I'm sure that the majority of people that are watching this, maybe not, people are just fans at the end of the day who have either wrestled or have done UFC or boxed. Like that 10-pound weight difference, especially if you're used to wrestling guys your weight and moving up, like that is a major difference. And I'm sure he's trained, very hard and added that extra weight, but that is going to be a huge difference in the fight.
And Islam Makhachev is wrestle heavy. He's a grappler, sambo. He's from Russia, where they will get on top of you and they maul you with their wrestling. But here's the thing: Alexander Volkanovski being 5'6", he's smaller, he's shorter, might be a little bit harder to take down. And he's got a rugby background where he's got a very strong base. He's very powerful. Looking at these two records, well, let me get into Volkanovski real quick. Volkanovski debuted October of 2016. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 33 years old. And now listen to this, Nicholas. 22-fight win streak for Volkanovski.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. So one guy's got an 11-win streak, and the other guy's got 22.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Volkanovski with 12 wins by knockout. Now, looking at their records here, Islam Makhachev, 23 wins in his professional MMA career, 1 loss. Volkanovski, 25 wins, 1 loss. Again, this is just going to be a firework of a main event fight. Almost indescribable. I am so excited. But
you can feel the energy behind this already. Like, this is going to be very intense.
So we're going to look at the significant strikes here. 2.37 landed per minute at a 59% significant strike rate for Makhachev, with just a 0.95 absorbed per minute and a 66% defense. That's pretty good, I'd say. Although the volume isn't there when you look at Volkanovski here, 6.79 landed per minute at a 57% significant strike rate. But with that kind of production, you're going to get hit just a little bit. 3.53 absorbed per minute at a 60% defense for Volkanovski. Who do you think, not who wins the fight, but who do you think takes these stand-up numbers right here?
Well, landed per minute, the 6.79, I think those numbers are going to go down because of the size difference. He doesn't have the reach that Makhachev has, and then as well, it's just going to be harder for him to land punches. However, it could be easier because of there's more surface area to hit because he's used to fighting smaller fighters. It's really hard to tell based on these numbers, because if you said that Makhachev was a grappling specialist, then of course he's not going to be throwing as many punches, and he might just be a little more careful and precise with his movements.
That he can't just let the hands go, because that leaves him open to be taken down too. So he has to be very surgical in how he goes about his approach here on the feet. So yeah, I think Volkanovski takes the numbers on the feet. If Islam Makhachev, if Volkanovski is able to define himself and not be thrown around and dragged around the octagon by Makhachev's going to have to find a different game plan, right? And if he has to stay on the feet with Volkanovski, I think that's going to be Volk's real path to victory here. But looking at the grappling, 3.42 takedown average over 15 minutes at a 65% accuracy for Makhachev and an 88% takedown defense. 1.27 submission average over 15 minutes we will highlight as well. Now, the takedown average for Volkanovski, 1.71, so it's not uncommon, with just a 36% accuracy while having a 73% takedown defense, 0.22 submission average over 15. So again, these numbers heavily in Makhachev's favor, but Volkanovski, if he can weather that storm and prevent him from being mauled, I think he can take it on the feet. So, Nicholas, after looking at these numbers, the significant strikes, the grappling, where are you leaning in this fight?
I'm thinking, okay, so I think the numbers themselves are really just telling about the style of fighters that these guys are. Okay, obviously, like you said, Volkanovski, he's going to be on his feet. He's going to be throwing them haymakers, maybe throwing some kicks in there as well. Makhachev, he's going to try to get him on, on the ground here. Gosh, it's tough because Makhachev, it's going to be hard to take down Volkanovski. They're going to really have to adjust their fighting strategy here. I think that my gut is telling me Makhachev because of, it's his weight class. This is his it's Volkanovski's hometown, right? Though
right.
It's where he lives. Actually, okay, I'm going to go with Volkanovski.
All right.
I'm going to go with Volkanovski because of the home field advantage, and that's a giant that's momentum right there. I mean, that's huge. And then because Khabib's not in Makhachev's corner,
yep,
that's a big mental That's huge on your mentality, right? I mean,
I
that's
agree.
his boy, man. And this is a giant fight. He's not there with him. He might share a phone call with him, before the fight. But I'm gonna go with Volkanovski. I'm gonna go with the upset here. I think that it's gonna be hard for Makhachev to take him down because of the height differential. I'm gonna go with Volkanovski.
I agree. Alexander Volkanovski is like a damn honey badger. You know those fucking badgers or mongooses that are just fierce, ferocious little animals? Like that's
Yeah.
what Volkanovski is. And in potentially the biggest fight in Makhachev's career, he's without his boy Khabib. So going through all of the leading up to this, he doesn't have his boy there. He's in enemy territory. Volkanovski loves to take the energy from the crowd. He's a damn badger, and I am going with the plus 295 underdog as well, Nicholas. And I think I'm willing to put some money on that money line, honestly, because I think a lot of people are just writing Volkanovski off. And do you know, like online, how there's like under any Instagram post for a while, there was YB's better, young boy's better. You know what I mean? It's like those fans. Those are the type of people who are Makhachev fans. No matter what, they deny facts. They deny any reasonable logic. They're all for Makhachev. And that's great. But also, it's kind of dumb if you're in this game. You know what I mean?
You can be confident, but you can't be cocky, right? And I think that Volkanovski, too, it's very telling that he's like, okay, yeah, I won my belt in my weight class, but I'm about to come up and I'm about to take yours. I don't care if you're heavier than me. I don't care if you're taller than me. I'm going to come in there. I'm going to take your belt. And I think that
confidence, boy.
This man's got some balls. All right. And we're going with Alexander Volk.
I love it, man. We're both there with Volk. So there you have it, folks. Our pick for the main event of UFC 284. And we're going to go ahead and keep moving through the card. We have a featherweight interim title bout between number 2 ranked Yair Rodriguez, the minus 165 favorite, and Josh Emmett, the number 5 ranked featherweight at plus 140. Now, Yair Rodriguez debuted November of 2014. He is a freestyle fighter, 29 years old, 6 wins by knockout, 5 first-round finishes, and in this fight, he will have the 5-inch height advantage. Wow. Josh Emmett on the other side here debuted May of 2016. He's a freestyle fighter, 37 years old. And I mean, listen, we've said it time and time again. Every dog has its day. You're 37. You're in the top 5, which is incredible. But how long can you sustain? You know what I mean? When you're having dog fights and when you have a real dog fight inside the cage, you leave a little bit of yourself in that cage. And at 37 years old, Josh Emmett has had some dog fights inside the cage. But looking at their records, Yair Rodriguez, 15 wins, 3 losses. Josh Emmett, 18 wins, 2 losses. That is a phenomenal professional MMA career. So kudos to him. So looking at this, significant strike-wise, 4.67 landed per minute for Rodriguez at a 45% significant strike rate, 4.12 absorbed per minute with a 53% defense. Not that great of the numbers standing up, if we're being honest. Josh Emmett, 4.28 landed per minute at a 37% significant strike rate with a 4.29 absorbed per minute and a 63% defense. Neither of these guys have really stellar statistical value on the feet here. Neither of them stick out to me, and they're almost so dead on similar that I think that makes for a very, very interesting fight on the feet if they're that close,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if you look at it, like you said, it's really close. Rodriguez, he's got just a little bit more significant strikes, but on the other hand, Josh Emmett's got a little more better defensive percentage. I think that these numbers aren't very telling. And I don't think that the measurements are as well. I mean, you got Rodriguez with the 5-inch height advantage, but like we've been saying, I guess we'll just have to see what the grappling looks like. Maybe that will tell a little more on what kind of style fighting these guys have. But as of right now, there's no significant advantage to either side.
Well, let's get into it. The grappling numbers here, 0.83 takedown average over 15 at just a 28% takedown accuracy for Rodriguez, while having a 62% takedown defense and 0.74 submissions on average. Josh Emmett, a little bit more production just by a hair, 1.04 takedown average over 15 with a 40% takedown accuracy and a 58% takedown defense. None of these guys' numbers are wowing me, and they're in the top 5. Like, Yair Rodriguez is ranked number 2 in the featherweight division, and I mean, if he weren't
this is a main card fight too. Come on, Dana White, what are we doing here? Jeez,
well, no, trust me, it is going to be a firefight just because they are so similar. It's like, I mean, I think it's a great fight. I just am saying, like, wow, if these two were fighting anybody else, I'd probably take the other guy, you know what I mean? But you got to choose cats right now. But it is going to be a bloodbath. I promise you that. These boys are going to go in there and wreak havoc on each other. And Nicholas, I'll let you go ahead and have the first pick on this co-main event of UFC 284 here.
I'm going to go with Josh Emmett.
Wow.
And I'm going to go with Josh Emmett, not really because of the numbers. All right, I mean, you can't really. I mean, we're just gonna take it back down to the Manalytics. All right, I'm looking at Josh Emmett, and he looks tough. He looks like he's ready to go. Right? He's just giving me this energy that he's gonna go in there and just give it to Rodriguez. You know, Rodriguez might have a couple of punches in here or there. He might take him down once. You know, maybe twice. Doubt it. All right. But I'm going with Josh Emmett. I'm going, USA, baby. What can I say? Let's go Josh Emmett.
All right. I'm going to go with Yair Rodriguez in this case. I just like, he's 29 years old. He's younger. He hasn't hit the 30-year-old mark yet, and he still has a lot left in his career. I mean, he's 15-3 at the age of 29. When you compare Josh Emmett, now 37, 18-2. Yair Rodriguez is going to have a lot more fights in his future, and I think he's just now getting into that prime and getting into that groove. So I think, every dog has had his day. Josh Emmett, it's not your day. But I do love Josh Emmett. I mean, great fighter. Everyone doubts on him. Everyone hates him. Today I'm on that boat. I think Yair Rodriguez is going to take the win.
That was probably the first time that I ever heard someone say people hate him, people doubt him, and so do I.
Yeah. I'm riding that wave. So Nick, you're going with underdog Josh Emmett, and I'm with Yair Rodriguez. And that's that. That's been the co-main of the UFC 284. Catch that around 10 p.m. This Saturday, February 11th. And that leads us to a very, very exciting welterweight bout between Jack Della Maddalena, the -305 favorite, and Randy Brown, the +255 underdog from Jamaica. Now, keep in mind, Jack Della Maddalena is from Australia, fighting in his home country. Della Maddalena debuted January of 2022. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, just 26 years old, with 11 wins by knockout and 7 first-round finishes. Randy Brown, the 255 underdog, debuted January of 2016. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 32 years old, on a 4-fight win streak. And in this fight, keep in mind, he will have the 3-inch height and 5-inch reach advantage. What do you think about that?
Wow, 5-inch reach advantage?
That's big.
Yeah, Mandela better be taking him down. He better be a he better be a grappler, because Randy Brown's gonna be feeding him these.
Well, Jack Della Maddalena, he's kind of got it all. He's that mixed martial artist, well-rounded, but he likes to throw the hands. I think his last, I want to make sure I'm right in saying this, but I think he knocked out. Yeah, so far in his career, he's knocked out all of his opponents in the first round.
Yeah, right now I'm looking at these two fighters. Okay, Jack Della Mandela, man, he's got that shit-eating grin we've been talking about. All right, and I think right now, if I'm looking at these two fighters, the only way that Randy Brown loses this fight if he looks at Jack Della Mandela and his shit-eating grin and starts to laugh and gets a little sidetracked, and then Jack Della Mandela takes his shot there, but. We'll look at the numbers.
Yeah, let's look at the numbers before any conclusions. So Jack Della Maddalena, 13 wins, 2 losses at just 26 years old. Randy Brown, 32 years old, 16-4, a win in both of their last fights. Looking at the significant strike numbers, I'm not sure why we're not getting Jack Della Madalena's numbers because he has fought in the UFC before. So that sucks a little bit. I don't like that. But we're going to continue. Actually, you know what? I can get
I'm
him.
telling you, it's just because he doesn't have these, bro. Once we go on the grappling, he might have some grappling numbers.
Doesn't. I don't know. They don't have any of his numbers. So Randy Brown, 4.38 landed per minute at a 48% significant strike rate and a 3.25 absorbed per minute with just a 54% defense. Okay, now let's just look at those numbers for a moment. If it was anybody else, you'd be like, not that great of numbers.
I mean, Randy Brown, I mean, his numbers kind of look like the last two guys that we were looking at, really. I mean, nothing super special.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like middle of the pack, like 50%, 5 hits per minute, maybe like a little more closer to 4.
Yeah.
54% defense. He's either going to defend it or he's not. Am I right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So let's see what he does in the grappling. I mean, I can't imagine it'd be that much. Yeah. I mean, takedown defense. Now, here's the thing, 71% takedown defense at 6'4", that's got to be kind of impressive, So if you've got other numbers on Jack Della Mandela, or how do you say his last name? Maddalena?
Jack Della Maddalena.
It's a tongue twister.
Yep, that's a fact. So I don't know. The UFC just doesn't have any of his stats, but that's okay because I know him and he's in his hometown. I'm going with Jack Della Maddalena just because I've seen him fight before. Listen, Nick, out of 3 fights in the UFC, all ended in knockout in the first round. He's obviously got the hands, okay? And this guy, his takedown accuracy is 33% with a 71% takedown defense. I don't think Della Maddalena is worried about the reach, and he's not even going to try to take him down. I think they're going to stay on the feet, get involved in some fisticuffs, and we're going to see somebody get knocked out in this fight.
No, I agree, but the unfortunate thing is that Jack is going to be the one getting knocked out, and that grin is going to look a lot worse after this fight. Randy Brown, baby. Randy Brown from Jamaica. I'm going with Randy.
All right, and I'm going to go with Jack Della Maddalena, and that is that, folks. Nick, you've picked 3 underdogs in a row here, man. I'm quite impressed with your balls of steel.
Yeah, well, you know what they say.
What do they say?
You just said it.
All right, here we are with a heavyweight bout between Justin Tafa, the -140 favorite, and Parker Porter, the +120 underdog. Justin Tafa debuted October of 2019. He is a striker, 29 years old, with 5 wins by knockout. Parker Porter, on the other hand, here debuted August of 2020. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 37 years old, with 5 wins by knockout and 3 first-round finishes. Now, look, Justin Tafa here, 29 years old, okay? 5 wins, 3 losses. Not that much experience in the octagon, while you're already, supposed to be in your prime, booking fights and getting in there. I just don't think he's very efficient with his career. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, how long has he really been doing this, though? I mean, has he been doing it 4 years, or maybe at 22, 23, someone was like, hey, you should try UFC. You've gotten a lot of bar fights. He's like, maybe I should. So, who knows here? I mean,
so here it says, when and why did you start training for fighting? They do a question answer thing on the website. He started training for fighting 6 years ago, and he said fighting runs through many generations in my family.
Yeah. Hey, it's just simple, straight, and to the point.
Yeah. Also, let's look at this. What was your job before you started fighting? Youth worker at a homeless shelter. Interesting. Yeah. Anyway, awesome. Justin Tafa, I'm just saying, so he's 29. He started at 23 fighting. He started training for fighting, which is late. That's late. And he's 5-3, not that great of a record, is all I'm saying. But now let's look at Parker Porter on the other hand. 37 years old. He's 13-7. He's a grizzly motherfucker. I mean, look at that. Look at the tattoos, the chest hair, the belly hair. Good gravy. You don't want to get lost in that belly button.
Anyway, that belly button looks like it's deeper than the Grand Canyon.
It does, though. No, looking at the significant strike numbers, what really matters here. 5.02 landed per minute for Tafa at a 55% significant strike rate, while having a 5.94 absorbed per minute and a 49% defense. not great at all. I mean, he's getting hit more than his production. Although I will say 55% on the significant strikes, that's pretty good. Now, Parker Porter, on the other hand, 6.49 landed per minute at a 49% significant strike rate with a 6.32 absorbed per minute and a 52% defense. Nothing really wows me about either of these guys, but at the end of the day, if they are going to be so close, I'd rather Parker Porter be having more production. If these guys are going to stand in the octagon and duke it out, more production is going to outweigh the slim significant strike percentage that Tafa has over this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. The numbers aren't as telling, it's just another one of those fights where these numbers they aren't as telling, it's just one of those cards, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of these, we've really had to go off the Manalytics.
Yeah, the Manalytics. I mean, there's just something, I don't know, the landed per minute, I could be reading this wrong. Okay, yes, Parker Porter lands more per minute, but the significant strikes aren't as high, and yes, it is only 6%. So I'm getting the feeling that Justin Tafa here is a little more efficient with the punches, and it gives me the vibe that Parker Porter's just throwing them just to throw them. You know what I'm saying? But we'll look at the grappling here. We'll see what we got to see here.
The grappling numbers: 0 takedowns on average over 15 for Tafa, 0 takedown accuracy, while having 100% takedown defense. Parker Porter, on the other hand, 1.45 takedown average over 15 at just a 28% accuracy with a 50% takedown defense. And we will highlight the very minuscule 0.48 submission on average over 15 for Porter. Now, they're close, but at the end of the day, Parker Porter does take the numbers here, as in if it's not working out on the feet for him, he has the ability, the knowledge, he's done it before, to take it, to try to take him down or try to grapple a little bit. Justin Tafa, he never even tries to take anybody down. So if it's not working on the feet, throwing the hands, then he's kind of SOL, shit out of luck. Am I right?
Yeah, he is very shit out of luck. Do you have Parker Porter's why did he start fighting?
Yeah, we can look at that. We can certainly look at that. Parker Porter, the question and answer: when and why did you start training for fighting? I was a fat kid growing up, really fat in parentheses. And after high school, I started
things
losing.
Have changed much.
That's hilarious, though. I'm like that. This is like an interesting one, and you're just like, huh? Yeah, like I would have never looked at this without you saying this. So it says, after high school, I started losing weight and getting into better shape. I got into training MMA to mix up my workouts and learn some self-defense. After a few months, my coach thought I was pretty good and asked me if I'd be interested in taking a fight. I figured, why not? I'm 21 and played sports my whole life, and now I have nothing to do. Let's give it a shot. I won my first fight by knockout in the 3rd round and haven't looked back since. Wow, dude, that's a fucking awesome answer, and not all of them are that good, I promise.
Yeah. The thing is, I want to pick Justin Tafa. I really do. But my gut is like Parker Porter is gonna win this fight.
Mm-hmm.
I just the whole 5-3 thing. Yes, Parker Porter's got 7 losses, but he's just got more experience. He lost his last fight, so he's probably coming in here with a chip on his shoulder. He's ready to get the dub. I'm gonna go with Parker Porter here.
I'm right there with you, Nicholas. I think that's a great pick. And there's another underdog for Nicholas. 4 underdogs in a row, but I like that underdog pick, man. I think that's a really good pick, man.
Parker Porter too. It's like this guy got lost in the simulation somehow, and he was supposed to be a Peter Parker, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He was a big Spider-Man fan growing up.
Huge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it, man. I like Parker Porter on that pick. So
Porter. Another freaking what's up with these UFC fighters and these tongue twisters? Come on, give me a break, Jesus.
And that leads us to the very first fight of the main card on UFC 284, the ever so exciting light heavyweight bout between number 12 ranked Jimmy Crute, the -230 favorite, and Alonzo Menefield, the +195 underdog. Now, Jimmy Crute debuted December of 2018, he's an all-around mixed martial artist, 26 years old with 5 wins by knockout. And coming into this fight, he will have the 2-inch height advantage. Alonzo Menafield, on the other hand, debuted January of 2017. He's a freestyle fighter, 35 years old, with 10 wins by knockout, 10 first-round finishes. And although Jimmy Crute has the 2-inch height advantage, Menafield will have the 2-inch reach advantage in this fight, Nicholas.
Oh, interesting. Very interesting.
Yes. So Jimmy Crute is 12-3, a loss in his last fight, from Australia, fighting in his home country. Alonzo Menafield, 13-3, a win in his last fight. And we'll get right into the significant strikes. 4.33 landed per minute at a 56% significant strike rate for Crute, and just a 2.76 absorbed per minute. Those are finally some good numbers. Am I right? 50%,
yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah, 50% defense. And the landed per minute for Menafield, 3.91 at a 56% significant strike rate with a 3.24 absorbed per minute and a 52% defense. It may be slim, but Jimmy takes the numbers here with more production and less absorbed. Although the significant strike percentage is the same for both of them, that's where that production comes in for the value. So I like Crute on the feet here. Let's see what the grappling numbers look like.
I agree. Jimmy definitely takes it on the feet.
4.87 takedown over 15 minutes at a 75% takedown accuracy for Jimmy Crute, with a 60% takedown defense and 2.03 submissions on average. Holy smokes, dude. I mean, that's aggressive. Am I right?
It is, but as you can see here, I mean, if you go down to Alonzo Menafield's takedown defense, even though Jimmy Crute takes it and he's, accurate with his takedowns, it looks like Alonzo Menafield's pretty good at defending them. Not saying I'm going to go with Menafield, but I think that this fight really, I mean, it's interesting because it doesn't seem like it's going to be on the feet, throwing hands, or grappling. It's like it could go either way, and I think that the guys will adjust, to which it's not going well for them, right? So right now, I'm thinking if Jimmy Crute, he's going to throw his hands, he's going to land his punches. And if Alonzo Menafield starts laying some haymakers, then Jimmy Crute is going to take it to the legs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even when they first start the fight, if he just does a couple fakes or feints like he's going to be taking Menafield down, now Menafield's waiting for that shot. And that opens up Jimmy Crute's hands to be able to fly. When he's always worried about that takedown, you can kind of mix the two in. I just think and even then, if he can't take Menafield down, he's better on the feet anyway. The significant strikes are just a little bit more in Jimmy Crute's favor. So I'm going to go with the favorite the minus 230 favorite, Jimmy Crute here. He's 26 years old, 9 years younger than Alonzo Menafield coming into this fight. He's still getting into his prime. And I mean, you look at the guy, he's 12-3. He's got a lot of experience so far in his career. And I think he's going to add another win to his resume in Australia, his home country, this weekend.
I totally agree with you. Mark it down. Jimmy Crute. He's coming for you.
Fuck yeah. All right, and there we have it.
And it's in Australia too. It's his home field advantage, right? As well.
Yep. Correct. And that is the main card of UFC 284. I know you guys are still hanging around watching us, so go ahead and throw a like on there. Comment what you think of our picks on this main card, and share this to your friends, family, even your grandma. Do it to everyone. Send it. Because we appreciate the support so very much.
And hit that subscribe button as well.
Hit that subscribe button. Yes, sir. So that's been the main card of UFC 284. Let's keep it moving. Now we have the prelims starting at 8 p.m. on ESPN Plus, and it's the featured prelim is a light heavyweight bout between Tyson Pedro, the minus 250 favorite from Australia, and Modestas Bukakas, the plus 210.
These tongue twisters, bro. These tongue twisters. I'm telling you.
Tyson Pedro debuted November of 2016. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 30 years young, and with 5 wins by sub and 9 first-round finishes. Modestas Bukakas debuted July of 2020. He's a kickboxer, 28 years old, with 8 wins by knockout. All right. Looking at Tyson Pedro, the 30-year-old, not a lot of experience at 30 years old, 9-3 in his professional record. That's a great record. But when you look at the 28-year-old Modestas Bukakas, 13-5. I like what I'm seeing there. But you got to remember Tyson Pedro from Australia fighting in his home country. What's that going to do for him? And what could that mean for him?
All I'm saying is whatever edge that Tyson Pedro is using to, whatever chip on his shoulder, whatever mental thing. I mean, if you just look at Modesta's face, I mean, don't you just get pissed off looking at him? I mean, come on, Tyson. You got to go in there and you got to collect what is yours, brother. So right off the bat, these analytics are telling me that Modestas doesn't have a lot of them. All right. And Tyson does.
Well, let's see it. Let's look at the numbers here. 2.95 landed per minute at a 64% significant strike rate. Love to see those numbers. And a nice and small 2.35 absorbed per minute with a 51% defense. Those are phenomenal numbers. The volume might not be exuberant, but very, very efficient at 64%.
Very efficient. Yeah. And you know what? Like I was telling you, right? I mean, look at he's going to go in there. He's going to land those punches, and Modestas, clearly the numbers say he's just going to be taking them. He's just going to
Well, let's give him a shot here. 3.59 landed per minute at a 37% significant strike rate, with a 4.54 absorbed per minute. Not that great, and a 52% defense. So yes, Tyson Pedro takes these numbers on the feet. Let's see if he can make up for it with his grappling. And some of these numbers non-existent. 0.64 average at just a 25% takedown accuracy for Pedro, to Bukakis's 100% takedown defense. Well, I will highlight Tyson Pedro's 1.28 submission average over 15. So even then, if Bukakis has to try to take him down just for a saving grace, if he's getting, caught on the feet, still Pedro is, in my eyes, more advanced, and he has more weapons and tools if this fight goes to the mat.
Yeah, this is what I envision. I envision Pedro just taking it straight to him. He's just going to be laying punches all over him. All right, face, stomach, kicking him right everywhere. All right. And then Modestas might trip over himself or something. He might fall scared. Tyson either keeps punching him or he hops on top and he just chokes him out. Submission, knockout. I'm going Tyson Pedro.
I like it. I'm right there with you, Nick. I'm going Tyson Pedro for this featured prelim. It's going to be it's going to be nice to watch him kick some ass leading into that main card,
Mm-hmm. Yep, the momentum will be rising, and Tyson, I mean, gosh, he just have you seen Outer Banks?
I have not.
Okay, well, there's this character. Okay, so the main character's name's John B, right? And John B dates I forget what the girl's name is, but the girl that he dates, she has a brother, and that is what he looks like, Modestas. And I'm telling you right now, there's not one soul out there that likes this brother. So it's just, that face, he's going down.
It's unfortunate. But that leads us to a featherweight bout between Josh Kulabau and Melsik Bagdasaryan. Melsik Bagdasaryan. He's Armenian, so I know it's not Ryan. It's Bagdasaryan. But Josh Kulabau from Australia here. This is a coin toss according to the odds makers. -110, -110. Let's get into it. Kulabau debuted February of 2020. He's a freestyle fighter, 28 years old, 5 wins by knockout, 3 first-round finishes, and in this fight, he will have the 3-inch reach advantage. Now,
doesn't Kulabau look a little uncertain? Doesn't he look like he's never gotten behind a camera before? He kind of just
he's questioning himself for sure.
But then Melsik, he's like, I'm confident.
Chest out, very confident. He's like, what is it? Do I smell pancakes? He's like, bring it to me. Although he's only 7-1, so
Melsik, if you're watching, do you like pancakes? Comment, let us know. Do you like blueberry pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes? Do you like butter or syrup on your? Tell us. All right.
Melsik debuted July of 2021. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 31 years old, was on a 7-fight win streak. So he lost his first professional fight and has not looked back. He's got 5 wins by knockout and a win in his last fight. So I think this is a good matchup. I think this is going to be really fun to watch. 2 young guys in their career going at it. Obviously Kulabau, 28 years old, 10-1-1. Melsick, 7-1 at 31 years old. So I don't like to see that at that age, but
Melsick's 30. How old is Melsick?
31, and Kulabau is 28. So I would like to see more experience in there, but hey, this is how you got to get it. And
I mean, I know you know what they say, 31's the new 25. Am I right? Gosh.
Seriously.
Kulabau definitely started fighting because he got bullied in school, though.
You want to see?
Well, maybe we'll just leave that to imagination. No, I'm kidding. Let's see it. Let's see how he started fighting.
When and why did you start training for fighting? I started training at the age of 15 to lose weight and gain confidence.
Nice. He definitely lost a lot of weight.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So, looking at the significant strike numbers here, where things are going to get interesting because we have Kulabau 3.06 landed per minute at a 44% significant strike rate with a 3.6 absorbed per minute and a 61% defense. All right, not my favorite, rather low, but Melsick, on the other hand, 6 strikes landed per minute at a 62% significant strike rate. With that kind of production, having a 3.48 absorbed is not that bad with a 53% defense. I think those numbers are obviously in Melsick's favor. There is more production at a higher significant strike percentage and, keeping that absorbed per minute low with that kind of volume.
I'm telling you, dude, right off the bat, those Manalytics told me that Josh Kulabau fights scared. And the numbers show here that Melsick fights with his chest out. He fights confident. He's ready to go, man. Melsick.
All right, let's look at the grappling, though. Non-existent for both of these guys. 82% takedown defense for Kulabau and 76% for Melsick. But this fight's going to take place on the feet, y'all. We're going to see somebody get knocked out probably under 1.5 rounds. I'd put money on under 1.5 for this fight. I think Melsick's going to come out fucking hot and heavy, and Kulabau's not going to be able to take that onslaught.
Yeah, he's going to get punched straight in the chest and cave in. And
cave in.
Yeah, Melsick. I'm taking Melsick.
I like it. I'm right there with you on Melsick. And that leads us to a exciting flyweight bout between UFC newcomer Shannon Ross and Clydeson Rodriguez. Now, Shannon Ross made his debut on Dana White's Contender Series. This is his first fight with the promotion since then. And he is a freestyle fighter. Now, he is 33 years old, okay? But he's got 7 wins by knockout. He's 13 wins, 6 losses. And compared to Clydeson Rodriguez, who debuted May of 2022. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 27 years old. He's got a couple years on him there. 4 wins by knockout and 4 first-round finishes. Now, Clydeson is the -280 favorite, as Shannon Ross is the +225 underdog. Now, Clydeson's only 7-2. His record is 7-2. He's 27 years old. Again, one of these fighters who's should be in their prime with not that much professional octagon experience.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers aren't that telling. I think that Shannon Ross, the nerves are going to be there because it is his MMA debut. Clydeson's been there before. He's done that. He's only has 2 professional losses. He's, what you said, 27 years old. How old is Shannon Ross right now, you said?
33.
Yeah,
let's look at this. We don't have to make a decision. I don't want to make a decision while we're looking up the matchup stats. Not until the grappling we'll make the decision. So we'll get into it because look at these numbers. For Shannon Ross here, 7.15 landed per minute at a 38% significant strike rate, but an 8.43 absorbed per minute with a 54% defense. That's a wild man fighting. You know what I mean? You're throwing 7 strikes, 38% of them are significant, and you're getting hit 8.43 over a minute. So not that great, but when you look at Clydeson, it's much more controlled. These stats are much more controlled. 5.73 landed per minute at a 61% significant strike rate with just a 3.07 absorbed per minute and a 48% defense. I think obviously Rodriguez takes the advantage there as he's much more controlled, composed in the octagon. And I don't blame Shannon Ross for being a wild man when he was fighting on Dana White's Contender Series, because you want to knock people out. You want to be wild and crazy and catch Dana White's eye to grab that contract.
Well, and if you think about it, though, I mean, if it's his debut fight, I feel like it's not going to be much of a different story. I mean, he's going to come in there first fight, nerves are going to be rattling. He's going to want to go in there and put on a show, and yeah, man, analytics. That's all I got to say. Let's look at the grappling.
1 takedown on average for Kleidson Rodriguez with just a 25% accuracy to Shannon Ross, 100% takedown defense. I will say Kleidson Rodriguez, though, 1 submission on average over 15. So if this does go to the ground, we could look for Kleidson to submit Shannon Ross here.
Yeah, Shannon Ross, his grappling numbers might not be there just because he hasn't had that many, this is his UFC debut.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think, though, that Kleidson, those significant strike numbers are telling, and Shannon Ross's absorbed per minute is telling. I mean, that was the first fighter I think that had over like seven and a half absorbed, and he's got almost 8.5 absorbed per minute. The red bar is almost full, my friend, and there's going to be a lot of red blood on his face after Kleidson's done with him. Mark it down.
You're an animal. Yeah, so I think we can both agree on Kleidson Rodriguez in this fight. Yeah,
I agree. Yes, Kleidson.
Amazing. Kleidson. He's like a damn Clydesdale.
Yeah.
So here we have a lightweight bout between Jamie Malarkey from Australia here in his home country, and
he looks like a Malarkey,
and Francisco Prado from Argentina. Jamie Malarkey, the -255 favorite, debuted in October of 2019. He is a freestyle fighter, 28 years old, with 10 wins by knockout and 7 first-round finishes. Francisco Prado, this is his UFC debut. He is 11-0 coming into this fight. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, just 20 years old, with 5 wins by knockout and 6 wins by submission. Very versatile. He is the plus 205 underdog. So there's not a lot of stats on him. Actually, no stats on him. He's a mystery man. But
yeah, dude, I was literally thinking we have this mystery man. We know nothing about him except the fact that you said he's got 11-0.
Yeah.
6 submissions, 5 knockouts.
Yeah.
He goes in there and he takes it. And clearly, it doesn't matter if he's on the feet. It doesn't matter if he's on the ground. This mystery man, you don't know what he's going to do. I mean, he's a mystery. I mean, jeez. Francisco Prado, and then this guy's Malarkey.
Malarkey, James. And look at his picture. What do you think of what kind of man analytic does that show you?
He looks like he kind of looks like a modern day Frankenstein. I mean, all he needs is the freaking thing through his head, and he's got it, bro. I'm telling you, Malarkey. I mean, that's all you need to know. Malarkey.
Yeah. So
15-5,
16-5,
155 pounds seems kind of malarkey to me. If I'm so,
All right, let's look at the numbers here. 4.18 landed per minute at a 43% significant strike rate for Malarkey, and a 4.88 absorbed per minute and a 53% defense. Not the best numbers in there. And looking at the grappling, 2.53 takedown average at just a 30% accuracy with a 66% takedown defense. Do those numbers wow you? Do they sway you?
Well, the thing is, the 66% takedown defense is really the only thing that I'm seeing here. But there's just, I'm trying to think, what is it about this? I mean, it's malarkey. I mean, that's the numbers that we're looking at here. I mean, come on. Yeah. They're average. They're median. They're below median. Put me down for the mystery man, Francisco Prado.
I like 11-0, 20 years old, making his debut against an Australian in his home country. It's bold. It's bold. I'll tell you that much. I'm going to have to go with Malarkey. I've seen him fight before. I know he is an absolute dog. And his last fight where he got a win over Michael Johnson in an absolute dogfight, won by decision, it was a war. And he was there for that war. He was present. He was there, and he fought for that.
He was
there. So I got faith in him, and I think this is going to be a bad day for Francisco Prado. I think they're just having this guy come in, letting the Australian kick the shit out of him to get the fans all riled up, if I'm being honest.
Oh, the fans are going to get all riled up and mad when they get Malarkey down to the ground.
All right, and we're going to move forward to the early prelims. These are going to start at 6 p.m. February 11th. I'm super excited for this, folks. Here we are at the prelim gang. Jack Jenkins versus Don Shainis. All right.
Shanus.
All right, Shanus. Okay, so Jack
Shanus.
Jenkins. This is his debut in the UFC. He fought with the Dana White Contender Series, and he is 10-2. 29 years old, and he's an all-around mixed martial artist. Don Shanus, the +2. Okay, so Jack Jenkins is the -325 favorite. The guy who's making his debut against Don Shanus, the +250 underdog, who debuted October of 2022. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 32 years old, with 8 wins by knockout and 8 first-round finishes. And look at that, he's 12-4. I mean, at 32, again, you would like to see a little bit more action inside the octagon, but 12-4 is a pretty damn good record, in professional mixed martial arts. We're going to keep going forward. Jack Jenkins, Don Shanus, looking at the significant strikes here, 3.59 landed per minute at a 73% significant strike rate for Jack Jenkins. And then we have 1.17 absorbed for Jack Jenkins and a 71% defense. Those are phenomenal numbers. And don't let them be skewed like they're not great numbers by Don Shanus's incredibly odd numbers. Look at this. Don Shanus, 6 strikes landed per minute, 100% significant strikes while absorbing 18 per minute. How the fuck does that happen?
I mean, how can you miss those ears? I mean, God. I mean, they're right there.
You're an asshole for that. No, this guy, this is insane. How does this happen? While on the other hand, I don't understand. But on the other hand, look at that from Jack Jenkins. 3.59 landed per minute, 73% significant strikes rate, while only having a 1.17 absorbed per minute. That I take those numbers way more valuable than I do Don Shanus having 6 landed per minute at 100% significant strike rate, but 18 absorbed per minute. I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah, Don Shanus. I mean, there's really nothing going for him here. This is the first time in Throwin Mitt's history, I believe, that we've seen a line cross over to the other side, and that is just not in a good way either. I mean, if it was like his significant strikes and landed per minute was crossing the line, then that would be like, wow, that's kind of interesting. But this absorb per minute, 18 absorb per minute. I mean, what is he just standing there, just getting it? I mean, God, I mean, what are you doing, dude?
Well, let's see if
can't you hear your coaches? I mean, geez.
At this point, who do you think takes the cake on the feet here? Because I can't really get a grip. My head's spinning.
I can't give it to Shanus. I can't do it. I have to give it to Jack Jenkins.
Gotta give it to JJ. All right.
Jenkins.
So the grappling numbers are also impressive for Jack Jenkins here. 4.14 takedown average over 15 at a 66% takedown accuracy and 100% takedown defense. This guy's got it going on, And Don Shanus is nowhere to be found. I mean, he's got crazy fucking on the significant strike numbers, but no grappling whatsoever. I think we can both rest our case on Jack Jenkins. What do you think?
Yes, sir. Jack Jenkins, JJ.
He's going to make his debut in Australia, his home country, and he is from Australia. I think this is going to be a wonderful setup for his career. He's got a gnarly mullet, a cool mustache. Look him up, everyone. I know his picture's not here, but I think this is going to be the birth of a great career for Jack Jenkins.
If you just told me he had a mullet and a mustache, we could wrap this up a lot quicker. God, Jack Jenkins.
Straight up. Bro. You're real for that. Okay, so we're going to move forward to a women's strawweight bout. I think, is this the first women's fight we're going over?
It is, yes.
Wow, all right. And we have Luma Lukbunmi versus Elise Reed. Luma Lukbunmi, the -280 favorite versus Elise Reed, the +235 underdog. Now, Lukbunmi debuted October of 2019. She is a striker, 27 years old. Elise Reed debuted July 2021. She is a striker, 29 years old. And in this fight, the underdog will have the 2-inch height and 2-inch reach advantage, which in women's MMA really can make a difference. You know what I mean? If the other girl can't get near, can't get close to her, it's going to be a bad day, especially if it's going to go to the scorecards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Luma Lukbunmi, 27 years old. She's 7-3. Would like to see more experience in there, but I know she's a badass. I've seen her fight before. She's from Thailand. I like her. Elise Reed, 29 years old, 6-2, and again, we'll have the 2-inch height, 2-inch reach advantage. Let's look at the numbers here. 4.21 landed per minute at a 58% significant strike rate for Lukbunmi. 2.56 absorbed per minute. Those are great numbers at a 53% defense. Elise Reed, on the other hand, 2.77 landed per minute at a 51% significant strike rate. Pretty good. At a 3.57 absorbed per minute and a 50% defense. Where do you see the advantage in this fight?
I mean, Lukbunmi is landing more per minute. She's landing more significant strikes percentage, and she's absorbing less hits with better defense. Lukbunmi, she's got it.
Guys, that was a test, and he's thinking. He is thinking. All right, and as we look towards the grappling numbers, 1.83 takedown average over 15 for Lukbunmi, 47% takedown accuracy with a 74% takedown defense. Now, Elise Reed, on the other hand, interesting enough, she's got 0.94 takedown over 15, but at 100% takedown accuracy with a 50% takedown defense. How much do you value that 100% takedown defense in this fight, Nick?
Well, the takedown accuracy, the way I see it is, Lukbunmi, I think that she's going to keep it on the feet here. I think that, her takedown defense is solid enough from these numbers to show that, Elise Reed is going to be getting those haymakers thrown at her. She's going to be trying to take Lukbunmi down, and Lukbunmi is just not going to be letting it happen. So I'm going to go with Loma Lukbunmi here. She is going to destroy Elise Reed, and I think, like you said, it may come down to the scorecards, and Lukbunmi just going to be feeding her just significant strikes. Elise Reed's going to get frustrated. Maybe we'll see Lukbunmi get on top because Elise Reed gets frustrated from, the fight itself.
Here's the thing. I like Luma Lukbunmi. I think she's actually pretty cute too. But regardless, Elise Reed has the 2-inch height and the 2-inch reach advantage in this fight. If she gets a hold of her and Lukbunmi isn't strong enough to get her off of her or even prevent the takedown, it could be a long night for Lukbunmi. I definitely see a path to victory for Elise Reed in this fight, but I really like Lukbunmi, okay? And I think her significant strikes are much better. But again, we're talking about that reach advantage in women's MMA. It could prove to be a lot. But if Lukbunmi can get inside and really throw some punches and do good, she's got a path to victory also. I see a path to victory for both of these women in this fight. It's great matchmaking because really I think the lines -280 for Lukbunmi and +235 for Elise. I think it should be a lot closer because I do think this is going to be a really, really good fight in these early prelims to get the crowd riled up and to really get them excited. So with my official pick, I'm going to go ahead with Luma Lukbunmi. I like her a lot, and I want her to get this win this Saturday.
Yeah, and the numbers aside, like you said, she's pretty cute. Womalytics, am I right? Womanalytics.
Womalytics.
We had the Manalytics, Womanalytics. Go Luma Lukbunmi.
Lukbunmi. All right, we're both on Lukbunmi there. Now we have Shane Young versus the new UFC newcomer Blake Bilder in a featherweight bout. Shane Young is the -135 favorite. He debuted November of 2017. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, 28 years old, with 6 wins by knockout. Blake Bilder, on the other hand, like I mentioned, this is his UFC debut. He's an all-around mixed martial artist, and he's 32 years old. At 32 years old, you have a record of 7-0-1.
How old's Shane Young?
Shane Young is 28, and he's got 13 wins, 6 losses, a lot more experience in there.
A lot more losses too.
True.
And he's got the mustache without the mullet, so I'm just saying.
Let's go ahead and look at the significant strike numbers here. 5.22 landed per minute for Young at a 40% significant strike rate, with a 5.01 absorbed per minute and a 55% takedown defense. Now, Blake Bilder, on the other hand, much more efficient. 2.78 landed per minute at a 52% significant strike rate and just a 3.71 absorbed per minute and a 55% defense. Blake Bilder's numbers aren't great. They're not phenomenal, but in this case, they are better than Shane Young's. Okay.
Yes.
Shane Young his volume's there. The significant strikes percentage I would like to see higher, and he's also got too high of an absorb per minute. So in my eyes, these numbers go in favor of Blake Builder here.
Yeah, these numbers are telling me that, Shane Young doesn't have a mullet, and he's not going to have a mustache after this fight either. We're going Blake Builder.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see the grappling.
The grappling numbers are almost non-existent for Blake Builder. 0.8 takedown average over 15 for Shane Young at just a 23% takedown accuracy and 56% takedown defense. But I do not see him wanting to take this to the ground. When you look at Blake Builder's submission average, 9.28 averaged over 15 minutes. I mean, that's pretty deadly. I mean, it may not be deadly, but it's got the guy thinking, I can't take this to the ground if I don't want to defend an onslaught of constant setting up for submissions. You know what I mean? That's tiring.
Yeah, I think the Shane Young's grappling numbers here really aren't that telling. I mean, 56%. I mean, it's either he's going to get taken down or he's not going to get taken down. I mean, 50-50 chance. I'm going Blake Builder here. Even though the grappling numbers in the, other three categories aren't there, that submission average is telling. But I think that this is going to be on the, on the feet kind of fight. They're going to be throwing punches, throwing haymakers. We're going to go Blake Builder.
I like it. I'm right there with Blake Builder on that. And yeah, that's going to be a good fight. I think that's going to be fun. The newcomer coming to take Shane Young on is going to be great. And guys, that leads us to the very first fight. And all of you who stuck around throughout this entire video, this entire card that we just went through with all of this colorful commentary and all the fun we had, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you here, not only at Throwin Mitts, but more productions also. You guys are the best. And that leads us to a lightweight bout between Zubaira Tukhugov versus Elvis Brenner. Tukhugov debuted February of 2014. He is a striker, 31 years old, 7 wins by knockout, and 7 first-round finishes. Elvis Brenner, this is his UFC debut, okay? The UFC is feeding him to the wolves here. He is an all-around mixed martial artist, 25 years old. Okay. Now,
and you said the other guy's 37?
The other guy is just 31. So
31,
he's there in his prime, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tukhugov, 20 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. I mean, that is the type of record you want to see fighters have at 31 years old. That's what we've been searching for this entire card. You're over 30. You need to have this type of record for me to really fucking have the confidence in, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like that's what I'm talking about. All right. Now looking at the significant strike numbers, we don't have any for Brenner, but we can look at Tukhugov here. 2.94 landed per minute and a 39% significant strike rate. Not that great, but the absorb per minute, nice and low too, 2.84 with a 65% defense. Honestly, those numbers aren't great, but I think you're about to be surprised when we see the grappling numbers at 2.46 for Tukhugov at a 43% takedown accuracy and a 100% takedown defense. Those aren't bad numbers. They're average numbers. But you feed them to a Russian who's 31 years old, 20 wins, 5 losses, 1 no contest, and you think Elvis Brenner is the guy to come in here and put him out the first fight of the night, his debut. You think that's it?
I think that I am going to take the Russian here. I think that the only way that Elvis Brenner comes into this fight is if he is aggressive and he keeps the Russian, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He keeps him guessing. Okay. If he's keeping him guessing, he's going to, is he going to take me down or is he going to, stay on his feet and throw some haymakers? But I can't go with Brenner here because of that 25-1 record. He is 31 years old. I think that the numbers tell that he seems like a defensive fighter. So he's going to be on his toes, ready for what Elvis Brenner's, anything that he's going to throw at him. I'm going to go with Zubaira here.
So I did some extra research just now. Elvis Brenner is 13-3. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. 25 years old. He's got 11 wins by submission. So that tells me that when you look at, we don't have his numbers, but you're looking at the significant strikes here for Tukhugov. They're not great, okay? And they're not great. They're all right. They're decent, but they're not great. Elvis Brenner has 11 wins by submission out of his 13 wins in professional MMA. Now, when you look at the takedown average, that's nothing extremely special either. So, but the 100% takedown defense does kind of negate it, because if Elvis Brenner can't take this to the ground and get in a dominant position, it's going to be a long night for him, you know?
Yeah, and I think that Zubara has just the experience in the octagon. He is in the prime of his career. If Brenner's going to take it to the ground, it looks like Zubara is not going to let it happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's only lost by decision. So he's never been knocked out. He's never been submitted. So, you know, I think that's going to be a good fight. I think it'll be a fun fight. A young, hungry fighter coming in his debut and putting up the style. But I'm still going to have to go with Zubaria Tukugov, the minus 520 favorite.
Solid pick.
Are you there too, Nick?
Yep, I'm going Zubara as well.
I've got your picks written down. Everybody join us back on the next episode of Throwin Mitts, where we're going to obviously go over how we did on this card, and then future cards as well. Not sure if it'll be for a fight night or a main event. I've got a lot of things going on in my personal life, so we're going to figure it out. Either way, you can follow me at Mitts_Throwin and get all of my picks for the fight nights, for the pay-per-view events, and other tweets and stuff that I'm inciting out, or other tweets and stuff I'm putting out there. We have fun. So go ahead and follow me at Mitts_Throwin. Subscribe to this channel, more productions. We've got the podcast running, this show running, and a lot more to come. We're having fun. Hope you are too. Nicholas, thank you so much for joining me here on Throwin Mitts. It's not a party without the Manalytics.
Yeah, you know what it is, brother. You know, it's always a pleasure. I have a lot of fun here on Throwin Mitts. And we're going to keep it coming. We're going to do great on this card, and it's going to be a lot of fun Saturday night.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be a ton of fun. And that has been Throwin Mitts, everybody. Thank you so much for everyone who stayed this long, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah.